What up, this is July from Kickback Couture. Today, I'm gonna go over how to make a Cubeatz Murda Beatz type beat. All these beats. And yeah, let's just have fun with it. I'm also gonna go over some arrangement, some creative arrangement, and see where we go. So I started with this sound. Let us find it. It is over here. Sounds like this, and it is muted in the sequencer. So this is it. Now this guitar comes from the Galaxia preset bank that I just dropped. Now I did add an effect to it, so this is what it sounds like without anything in the insert effects section. I added vinyl by Isotope, and all I added was some warp depth and changed the year to 1970. This is the model, 78 RPM. And then after that, I bounced it to a WAV file. And that is what we see here. I then bounced this WAV file to my desktop, and then I inserted it into an instance of Serato. And Serato is here. Chopped it up. I also added one of my favorite patches that I've created. It's called a spreader. This is it right here. So without the spreader, it sounded pretty thin. So it sounds like this without the spreader. Pretty quiet. Then once I added it, and this is how the spreader's set up. I will drop the link to the video where I designed this, set this up. It'll be a card right up there. Just check that out. Alright, cool. So following that, I began adding my drums, but we'll go through the other sounds, the other melodies before we get there. So next sound I added was this bell, 1017. This comes from the Galaxia preset bank. Then I added this lead. This lead also comes from the Galaxia preset bank. Then I added this piano, which is just straight from ID8. And that wraps up all of my melodies, and I started adding my drums. So this is the 808 here. This is just the Spins 808. Then I added my kick. Limiter's not doing much. Just managing the level of the kick. So ultimately my margin is on -5 so that my kick drum does not surpass that level, and that is what I mixed relative to so that I would not clip. If you do not understand that, go check out one of my mix videos. I've described that and explained that in those videos. Snare. No drums down here. Hi-hat. See the patterns up here. Last thing was this open hat. Alright, so that wraps it up for the sounds. Let's get into some arranging. Alright, so now I'm in the sequencer. I'm just gonna collapse these two, then move them down to the bottom since they are not in use. Whoops. Come on now. Alright, cool. Gonna drag this one up to the top. Move this here. Change these to a similar color. I'm actually gonna hop back into the rack really quick and send this pattern to the track. Alright, cool. Gonna hit F8, pull up the tool window, and explode these notes so that all the drum hits are on their own separate tracks. I can name these if I would like to. Just going to right click, add labels to clips. I know this is my kick, snare, and then I don't remember after that, so I'm just gonna listen. Perk. And once you decide that you want to add the labels, you can also name them here. You can't do that prior. Hi-hat. Whoa, that looks terrible. And then open hi-hat. OH. Nice. Alright, cool. Now, going to duplicate this 5 times. Figure out how I want this sequenced. Definitely don't want drums in the intro. Gonna take this out. Alright. I think I'm gonna start this with a hook, so I'm gonna move this down this way. Whoops, grab my pen tool and draw in the hook. If you do not have your blocks named and you would like to organize your tracks this way, just hop over to the block section, or alternatively press B and click on the blocks and name them by double clicking this area here. Back into song arrangement, turn loop off, and grab the eraser, and I want to get rid of one sound, probably be this one here, and let's see what we got. Alright, cool. So I'm liking that so far. One thing I want to change is the 808 pattern. So I'm just going to select this and gonna solo the 808 and serrato and this bell as well. Then I'm gonna see what I can do in terms of changing this pattern up for the second half of the hook. See if I can do something a little more creative here. Let's move this up. Let's move down here, try this. And then I want to do the same thing here. So instead of going up, I'm going to go down. So let's go to E, then the D. See where that takes us. Move this back this way. Listen from the beginning. Alright, so this is how my second 808 pattern came out. Added a good amount of variation. Now getting into arranging the verse. I'm actually going to use the razor tool quite a bit here. Gonna split these in half and then delete these. let's place this marker here. And turn off solo. Alright, and yeah. Gonna take the lead out. Actually gonna take this part out too. Gonna keep this running like this. Third 4-bar section of the verse. After this, back into the hook. And before we drop it, before it drops into the hook, I'm going to make a change before that so that there's more of a difference. So I'm going to drop this bell and maybe possibly drop this. Let's see how it sounds. Nah, I'm gonna leave that. It sounds good, but I'd rather keep it in. Here, I'm going to get rid of the drums, and then we'll drop them back in. So, let's do something like this. So as you can see, there's really no rules with arrangement, as long as it makes sense to your ears, and it takes time to develop that. For the second verse, I want to do something different and not have it exactly the same as the first one. So just gonna listen in and see what I can do different. So I'm gonna add this part to it, keep this in. And I'm actually going to start these drums a little earlier. So about here, a bar in. Gonna start the kick at the beginning. Nice. Put that there. And again, we're just listening, making sure everything makes sense. Then after this, we'll drop back into the hook. Hold down Alt. Whoops. Hold down Alt. Drag this here. And this is the basis of our beat. We can do an outro. Simple fade out outro, and we can talk about more creative outros whenever. Just get rid of this if I want to. And let's go ahead and actually make this more creative. So I'm going to cut this off. And for the first time, I'm going to take this section that I muted. I'm gonna bring it here and do something different. So I'm gonna cut all this out because I won't need this. And that's how I'm gonna end it. So gonna let it ring out for a little bit, and we have our entire beat arranged. Perfect. Alright, cool. So if you like this video, give it a like, comment, subscribe, and most definitely let me know what you would like to see next. Go check out that Galaxy preset bank. If you don't have Serato, definitely check that out. Isotope vinyl is free. Again, free 99 if you do not have it. Go get it. And yeah, kick back and cook up. I'm back.